But first, our main story tonight deals with social media. We all use it, which I can say definitively now that I got a friend request over the weekend from my grandmother. Hi, Nana. I love you, but not enough to play Mafia Wars with you, so please stop asking. Despite the prominence of social media, sports television still struggles with how to use it effectively. It feels like most broadcasts show tweets just to prove they know what Twitter is, not to actually add anything to the story. Like, how many times have you seen SportsCenter do something like this, as if putting a LeBron tweet on a Cowboys highlight is going to make a viewer say, oh, LeBron wanted them to go. Well, this changes everything. Which is why it was so striking over the weekend when I saw social media used properly to actually add something to a sports broadcast. It happened during Fox's coverage of the 116th U.S. Open. Now, I know what you're thinking. I work for Fox, so they're making me do this segment, and I promise that's not the case. They can't tell me what to do. I don't listen to them. To prove it, here is a possibly photoshopped picture of my boss, network president Jamie Horowitz, wearing one of Jason Whitlock's many fedoras. Hey, boss. Please don't fire me. If you watched this weekend, you probably already know what I'm referring to. On his fifth hole Sunday, Dustin Johnson was about to putt, and his ball moved ever so slightly. He backed off. A rules official said it was all good, and he kept playing without a penalty. But then the USGA decided 7 holes later to tell Dustin, while he's in the middle of trying to win the US Open, that he may or may not be penalized for it after all, and they'd let him know when he was done. It was weird and confusing, and no one could believe what was happening, which actually is a perfect description of how I felt when this happened on the broadcast.
Let's look at tweets that are rolling in. Rory McIlroy, this is ridiculous, no penalty whatsoever for DJ. Let the guy play without this crap in his head. Amateur hour from @USGA. Jordan Spieth weighs in. Let me get this straight. DJ doesn't address it. It's ruled that he didn't cause it to move. Now you tell him he may have. Now this is a joke. And then you've got Ricky Fowler. He's with the previous 2.
I want Joe Buck to read me all of my tweets for the rest of my life. But how cool is that? Real-time tweets from golfers who played that day in the tournament. It was one of those moments where you take a step back and appreciate Twitter for the value that it has. It provided some perspective and gravity to the situation and proved sports and Twitter and television can come together in beautiful harmony. Well done, everyone. Yeah. Even you, Jamie Horowitz in a fedora. Oh man, is that a different fedora? 2 in 1 show? You're crazy. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said for what happened 3 days before that.
Why is everyone talking about Curry's wife?
She tweets out this: I've lost all respect. Sorry, this is absolutely rigged for money or ratings. I'm not sure which. I won't be silent. Just saw it live. Sorry.
Okay, so she probably shouldn't have tweeted that, but she deleted it and apologized, so I imagine she realized that. So how did sports media handle this one? We just moved on, right? No? Everyone chimed in with hot takes? And as is often the case, the worst takes were the first takes.
Ayesha Curry, Steph Curry's wife, she stepped out of line. She stepped out of pocket. As beautiful as everybody wants to say Ayesha Curry is, and she is, Savannah is something special. LeBron's wife. She's wonderful inside and out. She sits there. She doesn't bring any attention to herself. She never tweets. She's quiet. She's unassuming. She doesn't bother. She stays in her lane. She plays her position. If this were Savannah acting like this, do you know how much heat LeBron James may have taken? I just want people to think about that, and I'll leave it at that.
No, you won't, Steven. I wish you would. I do. But this was a 12-minute segment. For context, that's more than half the runtime of this show, spent talking about one tweet and then their opinions of athletes' wives. But yes, Ayesha, you really need to stay in your lane. The whole concept of Twitter, though, is that you only have a limited amount of characters to make your point. The value is in its brevity. So taking a tweet and putting it on TV and then talking about it for hours on end is like buying a box of 100-calorie packs and then eating them all in one sitting. You're defeating the purpose and making me nauseous. In fact, I'd argue if the producers of First Take gave Stephen A. 20 seconds to chime in on Aisha's tweet, there'd be no issue here. Let's see if I'm right, okay? Skip just finished talking. Here is 20 uninterrupted seconds of Stephen A. Smith on Aisha Curry's tweet.
That's all I'm saying. That's my point right there, what you just made. My point to you is she's a wonderful young lady with an incredibly promising future. They're a wonderful family. I'm not going to sit up here and negatively talk about somebody's wife. I don't know this woman. She seems to be an absolutely wonderful, wonderful person. But...
Oh, sorry, Stephen. We're out of time. What lovely things to say about Aisha, though. That was really nice. This is fun. Let's try it again. Let's hear 20 seconds of Stephen A. Smith criticizing professional golfers for going on Twitter and speaking negatively about their sports governing body. Oh, I'm sorry. We actually can't. Because they didn't cover those tweets from actual athletes. Look, we're all still trying to figure out Twitter and Instagram and all that, when we should talk about it and when we shouldn't. We use tweets all the time on this show. Are we nailing it? I don't know. Who knows? Some would say absolutely not. Although, Darren, if you would just delete your account, then this would stop being a problem. But I know we at least try to only use social media posts when they add something to the show. And I wish we could start expecting that from everyone in this industry, because social media has real value. We saw that this weekend at the Open. But if we keep going down this road of low-hanging fruit, we might kill it. And that scares me. Almost as much as Jamie Horowitz in this, his third Fedora. Really, dude? 3 in one show? How much money do you have? Put some in this studio.